Hi guys, and welcome to another team review episode. I know we just did one of these episodes yesterday, but after we did the episode and we had a little run on the battle spot ladder with the team, I couldn't help but thinking that I rushed through the team choices, and there's too many things that I had ideas and new ideas with especially like the Aerodactyl Skydrop, that I've really overlooked some things. So I wanted to just approach this video again because I don't think the team is very balanced at the minute. There's massive holes, and one thing that I have been looking at is the Global Link Pokemon rankings that we have, and I just quickly was glancing over those, and I already had in my mind that we had a huge weakness to Garchomp. We have literally nothing to kind of cover the Garchomp. Really, we've got the Milotic, and that is it. And for such a popular Pokemon in the metagame, having that one answer is not really ideal, and it's not the best of answers either. We're not outspeeding Tapu Koko with it, with the Scarf, our speed tier, so Tapu Koko is really threatening, so that means anytime we've got out in the field, we're going to need Marowak next to it. Now, common lead is obviously Tapu Koko Garchomp. The Garchomp's free to pick up the KO onto the Marowak, so next turn Milotic is just a sitting duck. Also, I just didn't feel comfortable in a roundabout way. There's a lot of weaknesses to Garchomp on the team. We do have the Tapu Bulu, of course, which creates the grassy terrain, but I think I wanted to change things up. So this is why we're kind of approaching the video today, and for good reason. So we'll go back over to the Global Link Pokemon rankings that we've got so far. So I think this is like probably we're 2 weeks into these ranking results, whatever they are. So as we can see here, number one ranked Pokemon used at the minute is the Arcanine. So we do have quite a lot on the team that deals with Arcanine, but nothing that can kind of one-shot it at the minute. Obviously, we've got the Milotic, but it's putting my opponent up leading with it at least, and it's normally a Pokemon. What I've been finding in the battles is they're keeping it in the back. As soon as the Milotic goes down, Arcanine comes in and just causes so much disruption to the battle. So I wanted a clear way to beat it. Obviously, I've got Garchomp as well, which is great, but again, the Tectonic Rage is quite obvious. Now, I have adapted the team slightly and tweaked my Aerodactyl. Okay, so this is what I've kind of reviewed the team, and I'm going to use in today's episodes. So we're not going to use what we were using yesterday. I do want to try these tweaks. And again, if this doesn't work, we'll come back to it and we'll just do this process again. So I hope this isn't too tenuous for you guys watching this so quickly after we just did it yesterday. I know we haven't really had a stretch of testing the team, but I think the big holes that were obvious in the team itself really kind of, it just didn't feel right when we were playing with it yesterday. It was doing some nice jobs in certain areas, but in other areas it just wasn't. It didn't feel like it was flowing as well as it does on paper. And sometimes you have ideas on paper and they just don't pan out actually when you put them into practice. So the changes are, we're going to change Aerodactyl up slightly. We're going to take the Focus Sash off it, and we are going to give it the Rockium Z because of this calculation here. Now, a -1 Continental Crush from Aerodactyl is a clean one-hit KO on all 252, like 12 defense invested Arcanine. So that's quite huge, and we can go all the way up to, even with 72 defense investment, we're sitting on a good percent here to KO every time. So it's almost a guaranteed one-hit KO, and that is after the Intimidate as well. So that's pretty huge. Now, the problem with not having the Sash on Aerodactyl anymore is that it's going to speed tie with potentially Tapu Koko, and that's a little worrying, obviously. So this is why I've also changed the Garchomp, and I got a little bit of inspiration from watching Aaron's videos. I'll leave a link to his channel. Not that you probably need to know about it, because you should be aware of it already. But he has been using Scarf Garchomp, and in this team, in this circumstance, to protect the Aerodactyl, Scarf Garchomp makes a lot of sense. So I have got this calculation here, obviously, with the Adamant Garchomp, no invested, 4 HP Tapu Koko. We're going to outspeed it every time, and we're going to pick up the KO with the Earthquake. And we can freely Earthquake next to the Aerodactyl. So I think that just in itself helps a lot against certain things and just us being able to lead a bit better. So that is the second change. We'll go back to the team over here. So we've got the Garchomp. I've opted for Flamethrower on the Garchomp over Fire Fang because I don't want to be relying on being able to pick up KOs on Cortana if my opponents are just cycling those Intimidates. Using Flamethrower over the Fire Fang, it kind of takes the Intimidate support out of the equation. So for that, it's quite nice. We also have changed. What have we replaced to the Muck? We've taken the Marowak out of the team. Now, I don't feel like we need the Marowak as much. We don't need the protection from the electric type attacks as much as we did in the previous teams. We've only got the Aerodactyl that's weak to super effectively hit by electric type attacks. We've got Garchomp that can switch on them. He's immune to them. Got Tapu Bulu as well. He's going to resist those electric type attacks. So I don't feel as though we're as threatened as we were previously with the other choices that we had. So that's one reason. And I feel like Muck gives us a lot more support against Trick Room teams, namely Porygon 2. I think I've created a bit of a different set for this Muck. Now, with the Unnerve ability with Aerodactyl, it doesn't make much sense to run a Figgy Berry or one of the Super Berries on Muck, because as long as Aerodactyl's out in the field, I don't want to have a situation where Aerodactyl's out in the field and I need that berry to activate and I need to sack or switch out Aerodactyl for that to happen. I just feel like that's a bit counterintuitive. It's not really flowing mid-game and putting obstacles in the way of you when you kind of really don't need them. So what I thought about was what other item choices I could have in it. I could obviously have leftovers. It's a choice I could have and take advantage of the grassy terrain from Tapu Bulu. But I've decided on trying out the Darkroom Z. And this is for one reason. I've obviously got the Taunt here, and that'll help shut down Porygon 2 from setting up any Trick Rooms. There's no worry about taunting a Porygon 2. It's not going to have a Mental Herb. May have Protect, but it can only protect one turn. So before you can get the taunt off, or it can switch, or it can just read through it. But at the very least, you're stopping it being able to recover, which is like half the battle really with that. And I wanted Darkroom Z because one of the other Trick Room setters I definitely wanted to have an answer for was Oranguru. So let me find this calculation. And a Black Hole Eclipse from a Muck is a guaranteed one-hit KO on your standard Oranguru. So that's pretty huge. And also, to take advantage of the Darkroom Z, I can also Z move Taunt. So Z move Taunt, you get the Taunt off, it works as a regular Taunt, but you also get an attack boost as well. So it might work. It's something I definitely want to try. I don't know how often I'll get to use it, but in certain situations I think it might be quite beneficial. If you say Taunt Porygon 2, for instance, and you get an attack boost that turn, that's pretty huge for the next turn going into hitting something with a knockoff or a poison jab or something like that. And it can potentially, I haven't looked into the KOs on +1 too much at the minute. It is something to look into going forward into the future, but it's obviously, it can be a big benefit. And it doesn't mean you're always relying on just the knockoff Z move as well. So you're kind of having two bits of ammunition for your arsenal anyway. I have decided to go back to the Ninetales as well. So we've taken out the Gigalith and we've brought back in the Ninetales. And this is because of Garchomp primarily. So we can see from the Global Link ratings, Garchomp is number 2 on the rankings. And I just didn't feel comfortable with the team being able to just rely on Milotic pretty much to handle Garchomps. It just didn't feel like it was really a good game plan at all. So for that reason, I think I have looked through the Alola decks over and over. Porygon 2 is a great option, but then that kind of means I feel like if I'm running Porygon 2, I want to have certain Trick Room elements in the team as well. And at the moment, outside of Porygon 2, I would say the best hard counter to Garchomp is Alola Ninetales. So hence the reason I went back to Alola Ninetales. I've dropped the role. We're not going to be using it as a Trick Room preventer anymore. We're just going to use it as a support Pokemon with the Aurora Veil. It's got the snowballing ability to activate hail on the field, so we can help our weather situation, and just 2 attacker moves, Blizzard and Freeze Dry. And we'll see how that gets on. So it's just a standard Focus Sash, spread and set. Next, we have Arcanine. So I've included Arcanine in the team because also I felt like with this team, we have nothing, literally nothing, apart from the Marowak to really have some offense against Celesteela. And I just felt like that is something that I've definitely overlooked. And Celesteela with the right support can just absolutely snowball through the team. So another reason for adding Arcanine is, and I've given the Fire MZ, so we've got a better chance of picking up KOs on Celesteelas especially. We've also got the Intimidate support, which supports the entire team, which is great. We've got Snarl support as well, and I've included Roar onto it. We've also kept the Tapu Bulu, so we've got the Tapu Bulu Grassy Terrain, which is going to support the Arcanine and the Muck against spread earthquake damage, which is quite nice. And also we've got the Grassy Terrain to help get our health back each turn. So that is that. And also with the Ninetales and not having the Focus Sash on the Aerodactyl, I don't need to worry about having Ninetales out on the field with Aerodactyl and breaking any potential sashes with the hail residual damage as well. So these are the changes. I've slightly tweaked the Tapu Bulu spread. I didn't feel as though I needed as much defense investment as I had previously. So I've taken that out and put the additional EVs into special defense. That's just because of the Intimidate with the Arcanine, and it obviously has quite nice synergy between the two of them there. So they are the changes, guys, and I hope they make some sort of sense. I will quickly just go over some damage calculations. I think I've covered that. Obviously, the Aerodactyl with the Rocky MZ also picks the K up onto a Gyarados on a -1, so that's pretty nice. We'll be able to clear the field of that straight away. The Garchomp, like we covered earlier, picks up the KO on a Tapu Koko. I have to be careful and watch out for Intimidate support from my opponent on the switch and things like that. We covered the Muck there. And what's this? This is all yesterday's stuff. So that is irrelevant. So this was the team we're running, and this is the team we're going to be running from today. So later on episode, which will be probably in around an hour, 45 minutes time, we're going to be running this team. So I hope the changes make sense, guys. And sorry to just dump this on you, but it's something after we finished recording yesterday with the team I've really been thinking about, and I kind of had this. I started writing down and jotting down loads of ideas and things, and going over the global link usage stats and all the popular Pokemon, and making sure that I've got kind of answers for everything. So I do feel comfortable against Cortana, a lot more comfortable against Cortana with this team. I feel a lot more comfortable against opposing Tapus with this team. I feel really comfortable against Garchomp with the Intimidate support and the Ninetales in this team. And I feel really comfortable against opposing Garchomps as well with just the Aerodactyl, Skydrop support, and the Ninetales support, the Tapu Bulu, and I only really have to really be concerned about the Muck and the Arcanine. So that kind of sums that up. What we'll do is also the Celesteela as well with the Arcanine. So that does sum things up. So we're going to take this into our School of Hard Knocks episode today. If you've got any questions about the team so far, or any questions why I've changed certain things that I might have missed out, I'm trying to just rush through this little episode. I know it was kind of ad hoc, off the wall, last minute decision to do, but I feel a lot more comfortable, and I think it's probably more beneficial for you guys as well. Because it's one thing putting a team together, and then it is nice to just have probably an initial few battles and then kind of just have a look back and review it, and it's important. And if you don't feel comfortable with it, there's no point of forcing a team on to play with a team. You've got to feel comfortable with what you're playing with and feel confident that you're able to kind of cover the things that you're likely to come up against. So that's the reason I've done this. It is off the wall. We won't be doing these review episodes as often as every day. So the next one probably won't be, it might not be next week, it may be the week after that, but it might be 3 weeks' time when we look at this again. It probably won't be, but it won't be every day. So we're going to take this team now, and I feel a bit more happy about taking this for a little stretch the rest of this week into next week, and then see what we're doing, how we're getting on, and then we'll assess things after that. So guys, thank you so much for tuning in. I really appreciate the support that I'm getting. I hope you guys are enjoying the videos. And if you do have any questions, as always, leave them in the comment comment section below. And yeah, hit the like button. And until the School of Hard Knocks video, which will be coming up soon, I will see you later, guys. So I hope you've had a good day. I hope you're enjoying your evenings, and I will see you later. So bye bye, guys. Bye.